So the live action film Snow White had their Hollywood premiere in LA, but it was very unusual. As you see here, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot were kept away from reporters and they didn't ask the questions that they wanted. They didn't have the red carpet interviews. They skipped all that. They avoided questions about the seven dwarfs. They didn't want any press about why they had CGI characters, was of course it was a horrible decision to begin with, and it's going to look really bad on screen, especially when people go out to see it and realize that the CGI characters are just a huge miss when you could have had dwarf actors get opportunities and really could have helped their careers as well. But as you see, the studio kept its outspoken stars Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot away from reporters at the afternoon event, probably because they didn't want Rachel Zegler creating more problems for Disney, especially with all her criticisms about the original film, calling it outdated, calling it sexist, and then Disney has to turn around and do damage control. They don't have time for that, especially with the film coming out this week. And then it follows a similarly pared down European premiere on Wednesday. We talked about that, how they didn't want to, have a premiere. They didn't in Europe because they were afraid of the backlash. I'm sorry, the UK. They were scared of the backlash from the anti-woke fan base. And the negativity began way back in 2021 with the cast of Zegler, who is Latina, as Snow White, a character from a German fairy tale who's famously the fairest of them all. And this was particularly slammed as woke by some fans and conservative commentators. And yeah, you really turn off some fan base here. So again, it's just another disaster for Disney. And when we see the reviews come out on Thursday, I mean, it's going to be a massive flop. Now, of course, when it comes to the people who saw the movie at the LA premiere, there's going to be a bunch of shows. There's going to be people there who are going to be biased towards Hollywood, speak positive about every movie because, they don't want to speak negative and have the audience not see the movie right away. They're not going to do that. So you're going to have some reporters here who are going to be a little biased. Now, this person gave it a 3.5 out of 5, saying that Cinderella is my favorite of the remakes, but I would put this on par with The Little Mermaid in the next tier of my rankings with the rest below. If it's on the Little Mermaid's level, you can already predict it's not going to be a good movie whatsoever. Then he says the biggest surprise of 2025, this reviewer says that the most controversial and hated film of the year is actually a decent live action movie. And yeah, of course, people are going to love it because they're shows and they're not going to be completely objective. But when the real critics come out, and of course, the fan base, they're going to tear this film to shreds. And we've also heard reports about Gal Gadot having issues with Rachel Zegler, where she says here she's reportedly annoyed by the drama surrounding the live action Snow White film, probably because of some of the things Rachel Zegler has said in the past, and it's already, caused more problems and it's getting ready to blow up in their faces. And she also says that she enjoys filming. She was fine with Rachel Zegler, but they are not friends. They have nothing in common. They just did their job together, and that's it. Source also added that they have a huge age gap and very different political views. That's according to the People's website. So again, who knows what's going on? We know at the Oscars, they didn't look at each other. It looked like there were some awkward moments. But yeah, we shall see how this all plays out. Again, Snow White just not doing the due diligence to market this film appropriately. And it's understandable because of all the things that Rachel has said in the past. And I think Gal Gadot has stayed away. I know she made some comments with Rachel Zegler, but she has now taken a step back, not made ridiculous comments about the old Snow White movie because she realized fans don't like that at all. And if you're going to be negative about the old film and not respect it for its roots, then you're going to have this type of situation. Then on top of everything else, the world premiere in LA, you didn't have the red carpet interview. You skip past that. You avoided questions about the Seven Dwarfs because you know what's going to be asked. And Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot don't get a lot of time to answer a lot of questions. Just not a good sign for Disney. And it's another example of why they need to move away from these woke ideologies because it doesn't work. So maybe after this massive flop and seeing how angry fans are going to be about this film, maybe they'll learn their lesson. I don't know. We shall see. A lot of people are losing trust in Disney and just the constant things they're trying to push. It's not working. And maybe they're finally learn their lesson and just move on for good. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how Disney scaled down the Snow White LA premiere. Also, the tensions possibly between Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.